Hi everyone, welcome back to the Lockdown Diaries. Today I'm going to continue going through the diary of Ronald Walker, my grandfather, and update a little bit on my Uncle Jack and what happened to them at the Siege of Calais. Going straight into it from the diary of my grandfather. Sunday 26th of May 1940. Captured. Marched as prisoner to Les Attaques. Camp increased during the day until about 500 had arrived, mainly French. Food not bad here. After running along the beach with a stretcher and being machine gunned by the advancing Germans, my grandfather was captured. Looking at a map and figuring out where he was, based on descriptions in his later life, we believe it to have been at Gravelines, and with no rifles to defend themselves, they had no choice but to surrender. Across town, back in Calais, my Uncle Jack had been moved another time with his machine gun to cover another position. His commanding officer had been round to try and find him and had been unable. The order was eventually given to evacuate the town of Calais. The Marines who had been positioned as machine gunners took those orders from whoever was giving them and obeyed. My uncle found himself at the docks where he boarded a vessel by the name of Conidor. They managed to get out into the harbour slightly, but due to the shifting tides, they found themselves run aground. The city was being bombarded behind them, and the Germans were advancing into the streets. As the tide began to rise, they floated off and made their way back to Britain. The only defence that they had on them was their machine gun, and they managed to get several glimpses of German aircraft overhead, as there was very little air support at that time. It was aboard the vessel he got his first glimpse of a Junkers, which he did not enjoy. His glimpses of these coincided with attempted bombing runs on the vessel that they were trying to retreat in. They managed to fend them off with the machine gun, but that was all of the defence that they had, and they were very fortunate to not be pursued by anything further. There was a piece that ran in the Sydney Morning Herald the following year commemorating the Siege of Calais, which detailed the fate of the other Marines who had come ashore from HMS Verity. Those who had been found by the commanding officer were taken back to the headquarters, which was being set up in the fortifications inside the city. This headquarters was then overrun swiftly by the Germans as they advanced, and all men were captured or killed. As for my grandfather, this wasn't the end of his war, this was really just the beginning, and I'll continue over the next few days detailing his journey to the prisoner of war camp, having been captured. It wasn't a short trip, and it wasn't for a short time. Anyway, thanks for watching.